What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and welcome to Roughin It.
I'm Christina, and we're going to be talking today just about who we are, how we know each other, everything that we're going to be talking about on the podcast, and let's just get right into it.
Yeah, so first off, who we are, I guess I'll talk a little bit about kind of who I am. My name is Zach. We both studied exercise physiology at Florida State. I am definitely the most passionate about fitness and then also, travel, side hustling. That's kind of what my life tends to revolve around. And that's pretty much who I am.
Like he said, I also did exercise physiology. We went to FSU. Go Noles. I'm such a proud freaking Nole. If you went to FSU, you're on my team. But I really talk about anything. I'm really passionate about finance and travel and kind of living an alternative lifestyle, not working the 9 to 5, chasing your goals and dreams. And that's something that we really want to emphasize on this podcast. So what are we going to be talking about on it?
Yeah, so first let's talk about how we met, which also is by studying exercise physiology. We had Bio 1 together. I should know this, Bio 1.
Yeah, so the actual story goes that he came and sat next to me in class. I was just sitting alone. I didn't have any friends. And he sat next to me.
Yeah, and so our professor, Kevin Dixon, had these things called eye clickers.
Shout out Kevin Dixon.
So if you, it's like he would put a question on the board, and you'd use the eye clicker to kind of say what your answer was. If everyone got it wrong, he would ask you to talk to your neighbor about what you think the answer was. One day I was next to her, and that led to us starting a podcast together.
And now we're here. So basically he just introduced himself, and we ended up having the next class together. We both had organic chemistry. So we ended up just becoming friends because we would walk together to the same class, and you need people to study with, and so we kind of became study partners and friends throughout that process.
Yeah, I remember we were just kind of walking out of the class together to our next class, and I think you probably thought I was just following you, but I just genuinely had the next class together. And I remember once we got to Orgo, we walked in, I sat down, and you walked away and sat far away from me. I was like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on it on the beginning.
Yeah, it took a bit of persistence.
Convincing, yeah. So that's how we know each other, and then fast forward to 2 years later. Has it been like a little more?
We were friends for about a year and a half. She doesn't like to think we were friends, but we were friends. We were in the same friend group that makes you friends.
So fast forward, we've now been dating around a year and a half. So
yeah. And
we're currently traveling Europe, by the way. We are backpacking for around 2 months, so that's currently what we're doing. We're in a hotel right now in Germany, so we are going to be talking a lot about our travels as well on here.
Yeah, so we should talk about what we plan to talk about. I think that's one of them. We kind of see this as an easy way to kind of document our experience and our thoughts as we kind of go along, because we've definitely had a lot. Either if it's tips on what makes it easier, or just thoughts about each country, each place we go to. And so that's one thing we want to talk about, but also we want to talk about a lot of side hustling, a lot of, like I just said, travel.
So with side hustles, we're both very passionate about finance and the way to make alternative ways to make money. And so we've done eBay, reselling, couch flipping, drop shipping, real estate. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that in our finance section. And then he's also very passionate about working out and fitness and ways to live a healthy lifestyle. You want to talk about that a little
Probably a little bit overly passionate about it than you would like.
Talk about it so much.
Yeah, I go a little crazy if I go too long without training.
But he's also the type of guy that all of our friends will ask you for advice because he knows what he's talking about. So I think it'll be really interesting to debunk some myths, talk about some fitness influencers that are possibly doing things wrong, seeing as though we do come from an exercise physiology background. We do have some experience in that area. Yeah,
I just think it's important to be able to, one, do what we're doing right now. Really just to live your best life. I think life is just better if you're fit than if you're, unhealthy. Not to shame that, but I just think the more fit you are, the better life tends to get. Mm-hmm. And so I think that a lot of it tends to tie into an overall just improvement in quality of life if you look at all of those. I think we are going to also talk a little bit about kind of relationship stuff too.
Well, that's something that I think not a lot of podcasts have, is that a lot of podcasts are just all men or all women. There's not a lot of podcasts that have a man and a woman. And so I think with relationships, we're going to be able to talk about from a guy's perspective and also from a girl's perspective, which I think can be really interesting to people because oftentimes they only hear one side. So we do plan to talking about cheating, monogamy, being friends with the opposite gender, absolutely anything relationship-wise as well, because I do find that very interesting. That's like what I like to watch when I watch podcasts. call her daddy. Shout out to Alex Cooper. But
yeah, we've definitely had a lot of nights where we were just like drinking and we had a conversation about something like that, and we always thought like, we should make a podcast. This could be a podcast episode.
Yeah, we're like, wow, that would be so clippable.
Yeah,
So.
and one of the reasons we're starting this is that we had one of those conversations. We were in Switzerland and we were in this burrito shop. This guy from LA owned it. I forget your name. Also forget the name of the shop. But if I remember, I'll shout you out in the future because you were a cool dude. But we were having a conversation like that, and we were like, this could be a podcast. And I forget if it was you or me, probably me. I have all the good ideas in this relationship. But I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's start it. Let's work on it later today.
Yeah,
and
so here we are a few days later. We started Roughin' It.
Yeah, and now we're Roughin'
It. Wow, that wasn't even planned, but that was so cringy.
Natural, huh?
But yeah, and then we're going to be talking about travel. We did talk about it a little bit, but we are going 2 months around Europe, so we're going to be talking about the finances of traveling, where we're staying, the pros, the cons, what you should bring when you're backpacking, and then we both also have our separate YouTube channels, which I will link down below in the description, so if you want to follow his journey on working out, fitness, travel, anything like that, and then I post lifestyle content, so anything from fashion to travel to money, anything like that. So I'll post those down below as well if you want to hear more of a shorter version of each of our opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she's a lot farther along on YouTube than I am. I filmed my first one right before this.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah, so I also have my website, fitnesssimplified.org. That's kind of a passion project of mine if you want to check that out.
We'll put that down below in the description. And as well as all of our TikToks, Instagrams, everything like that will be down in the description. And I think that's pretty much it for the first podcast, right? Yeah,
that's who we are. And so we'll be talking, like we said, a lot about travel, finance, relationship, fitness. I think a lot of just stuff we tend to find interesting. We find ourselves talking about when we're drunk, randomly.
And we're going to try and be as open as possible and talk about anything, and that includes religion or any controversial topics that we have an opinion on, because I do think it's important to hear other people's perspectives. That's how you learn and you grow. So we are going to be trying to be as honest and open as possible on this podcast. And that's everything. So tune in to the next episode. I think we're going to start off with a little bit of travel content since we are traveling right now. So that'll be the next one.
I think housekeeping just knocked on the door.
Oh. All right. So let's finish it here.
All right.
Peace. Out.